Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting edition of Omnibros Live on a Thursday, Manga Showtime, kids. I'm one of your hosts, Gio from A Week in Geekdom, and I am next to the always awesome Riley, aka the Omnibus Collector. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Your beard is looking positively Leonidas-esque.
I need to trim it. I need to work on it. I've just been super lazy for the past month.
I think
But
for
thank you.
being super lazy though, like it's the shape is super holding up. Like
Thank
I
you.
I feel like it looks really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I trimmed mine up, so like I don't have any real shape to it. It's just
Closer to the
yeah,
skin, yeah.
yeah, close. I need to trim again, but
Well, speaking of trim and all you wonderful people out there, let me remind you that if you want to get some of the books that we're going to talk about tonight, the show is sponsored by the fabulous folks at InStockTrades.com, your home for all things collected editions, whether it be an omnibus, a hardcover, trade paperback, epic collection, manga, absolute, whatever type of format it is. When it comes to collected editions, In Stock Trades is the place to be, to go, to visit, whatever you want to call it. Deals range from 42 to all the way up to 65%. You got to check out the homepage for all the daily deals, all that wonderful stuff. Up to $50 in your order gets you free shipping, fantastic customer service, and wonderful packaging at InStockTrades.com, the official sponsor of Omnibros Live here on the Omnibus Collectors Network. And let me remind you that on the last Monday, on the 28th, we will be doing our gift card giveaway, courtesy of InStock Trades, valued at $50. So be sure to stop on by and see if you can win that gift card. So yeah, baby. Thank you to everybody. Hayden, happy Thursday to the bearded manga studs, no longer bros. I like that. That's cool.
Manga
Uh,
Studs Live.
hell yeah.
Uh,
Hayden, after the show, send me a message because I keep forgetting. I wanted to message you about something on the past Monday, and I totally forgot. So yeah, there you go. I'm doing it live. I'm letting everybody know about this.
this is our St. Patrick's Day special. Also,
I totally forgot about St. Patty's.
I'm wearing plenty of green right here.
I don't have anything green on me. Sorry.
Oh no. We're gonna
Bad luck, and
pinch you
somebody
through
will
the
pinch me.
screen.
Somebody's gonna pinch me later.
God, I hated that because I would always forget and like go to school or work and like not have it on. And like with work, like I'd go in and everyone's got like a green tie, and I'm like, oh fuck.
I remember once. I'm gonna say probably in high school. Uh, People were mean. My schoolmates were mean. If you didn't have anything green on St. Patty's Day, everybody started pinching each other. I hated that.
That's how it was when I was in like elementary school. I remember like the first year that I even heard about it, someone just came up and like pinched me on the arm, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what was that for? And they're like, you're not wearing green. I'm like, okay, so
All right, chill.
colors are blue and gold, and they're like, yeah, but it's St. Patrick's Day. I'm like, I don't even know who Patrick is. Get out of my face. Then I just like that started me off on the wrong foot because I'd never remember to wear green ever. And I
Yeah.
just tell people like my underwear is green. Trust me, it actually wasn't.
Oh man. But today we have a couple topics. One that I found out a couple hours ago, and I thought it'd be pretty interesting. I'm not sure if our audience is aware, but there is the what do you call it? The book scan top 20 graphic novels. They do that every month, and you see like a top 20 list of all the best selling books. And for a while now, we've seen this trend where I'm going to say for years now, manga has slowly crept in and they've taken a hold of that list. And I got the what do you call it? The box with the top 20 for last month.
For
And
February.
it's pretty for February, yes. And it's pretty interesting in that out of the top 20,
Mm-hmm.
out of the top 20, all 20 spots are filled by manga. let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it. Let me check. That's a little bit more.
This is what happens. You can see from this. This is what happens when those reprints started hitting.
Oh, yeah.
You can see on there Chainsaw Man 1 and 2, Demon Slayer. I think 1 was up towards the top. 2 and 3, My Hero Volume 1, JJK 1, Chainsaw Man 4, 5, 3. Like, God, most of Chainsaw Man is on there.
Yeah. So as you can see,
My Hero, Komi, JJK 0. Yeah, that one was highly sought after. Spy Family, Attack on
Spy Family. This is the final volume of Attack on Titan, if I remember correctly. Kaiju number 8 made the list. That's pretty cool. My Hero Academia, of course. Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer. Pretty much Shonen Jump, Viz Media dominating everything. Look at this. Viz.
Every volume of Chainsaw Man except for volume 8 is in the top 20. That's
and
every volume available.
The only non-Viz Media book is Attack on Titan, which is Kodansha.
This is insane. That's legitimately insane. I want to place a bet though that next month or whenever we see the March numbers, I'm gonna bet that there's a couple of Batman books on there.
Because of the movie?
Yeah, because like the number of people whom I have seen and talked to, who are like super into wanting to read Batman comics now because they watched the movie. So many people who like manga readers or just non-comic, non-manga readers are like asking me like, hey, what recommendations, blah blah blah. And it got to the point where like I'm getting so encroached upon about all this Batman talk that I started like looking back at Batman books and stuff again, which I haven't ordered an older comic. Every comic I buy now is a recent release, and I was like, oh man, I don't have this. I need to fill this gap in my collection. I need to buy that one. It's crazy.
Cleveland Brown has a good question for anybody interested. Why is that though? Do Marvel and DC need to be more weeb-ish? I just think it's more with the easy entry point nature of manga, if that makes sense.
Well, like, go down to the actual books. And so out of all these books, Chainsaw Man 9, JJK 14 they were released like I think last month. The Demon Slayer Stories of Water and Flame, I think that was released in January, if I'm not mistaken. And everything else is a reprint. Yeah. And this is just so these numbers are based not on like the Geos and Rileys that are walking into the stores and buying the books. These are based on the Barnes and Nobles and the Books a Millions that are ordering these titles. So like all of these books are things that like got reprinted and were finally available in the past several weeks that people have been begging for so long. Like people have been, you go on like Mercari and shit, and people have been selling Chainsaw Man Volume 1 and JJK Volume 0 for so much over cover price. And now finally like Viz is pumping out like those reprints. The number of reprints that have been pumped out in the past couple months is insane. So I could be wrong about the Batman stuff. We could just get another month full of reprints next month.
And it's gotta be crazy because every month we get more and more books reprinted. Mm-hmm. So I think it's gonna dominate all year long. Right now, Orochi came out last week, I think, and it's already out of stock and Right Stuff. So I think it's going to be a trend, but I do think manga's the hip thing. I mean, it's always been. I'm not making that joke to be hip or anything, but it makes it easier for new readers. A new reader will pick up a manga because they watch the shows on Crunchyroll or Adult Swim or whatever, than an older Batman title being released as an omnibus. Plus of the price and all that stuff. So that I think has a little bit to do with it.
The price point for entry is $9.99 on these books, and like you don't get that on the comics and stuff. Like a graphic novel, I think like current edition
DC,
of
yeah,
the Long Halloween is like $20 to $25.
yeah.
So like you're gonna I have a friend who's like right now really getting into reading comics like for the first time in his life, and it's really exciting seeing it happen because he's a manga dude, and I keep giving him recommendations, and he messaged me and was like, I'm at the store and I can only grab one thing. Like, do I get All-Star Superman or do I get, I forget what the other one was that he said, but they were both ones that I was like highly recommending. And I was like, bro, I don't know. Like, that's tough. And he was like,
Yeah,
eventually he just put them both back and grabbed, I think, a couple books of Blue Period because it was easier for him to like want to continue with something else. But
yeah.
I also, I did the good thing, the good deed, and introduced him to the fact that his university's library probably has stuff. And I was correct. So, so
Oh,
he's
there you
going to
go.
check out some peak fiction as far as comics go over there.
Also, according to this website, hot properties: Batman, Moon Knight, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Morbius, what? Cat
Cat
Kid,
Kid.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, Magic the Gathering, Chainsaw Man, Lore Olympus. All of this makes sense except freaking Morbius, but okay.
What's Cat Kid?
Cat Kid.
I
What
I
happens
don't
if I...
know what that is for it to make sense.
Oh, it's
Oh,
a...
same guy that did the Captain Underpants and the Dog Cop or whatever that one's called, Dog
yeah,
Man.
Cat Kid Comic Club perspective. So, oh my God. Okay, Cat Kid Comic Club, Babysitters Club, and then Scorched, Something is Killing the Children,
Dog
followed by
Man.
Dog Man.
Mothering Heights.
Oh my gosh. Interesting. Um, Lore, I get. That's a pretty popular YA teen book. Looks cool. Chainsaw Man, it's super hot right now. The show's going to debut at some point. That's going to boost the popularity even more. Magic the Gathering, that's always been trending. Obi-Wan because of the show. Morbius, okay, I guess for the movie. People are excited for the vampire. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh's always been there, same with Magic.
There's
Pokemon
a new Yu-Gi-Oh series just got announced recently.
as a manga
Well, as an
or a
anime
show? Oh, okay.
following Sevens. I forget what it's called.
Hmm. Pokemon will always be there, and Moon Knight and Batman because
Recently.
shows and movies. Yeah. Cloudy. Okay, let me take this off for a sec. Okay. Cloudy's asking, what do we think about Dr. Stone? I've read up to volume 20 of that,
Same.
and I genuinely love it. I
Same.
know it's sort of it's a kid's abridged version of science. Obviously, they're not going to solve everything because it would take thousands of years to start civilization again in real time. So it's sort of an abridged version with shonen stuff and tropes, but it also brings new stuff to the table. Characters behave a little bit different than your typical shonen characters, but you also have really cool stuff like science and the engineering behind certain things. There's a lot of research that goes into Dr. Stone that a lot of people are not aware of. If you check out the credits at the start of every volume, they list, or at the end, I'm not too sure, they list their sources for the creative team, and most of it comes from books about survival and engineering and first aid stuff and survival tips and whatnot. So it's all mostly pretty damn accurate. Plus, I love that it's a Shonen Jump magazine, but it's dealing with humanity as a subject and how we survive as a species. I do like Senku as a character. He's got an edge and a cockiness to it, but it comes from a good place. I really like the characters. I love the story itself, and the premise is great. It's like the Horizon Zero Dawn of manga without the dino robots. And I do like Boichi's artwork a whole lot. I think it's phenomenal. And I know it ended. I don't know the ending of it. Thankfully, I haven't read those spoilers yet. I haven't been spoiled, I should say. So I'm excited to see how it ends, but I'm a little bit sad because I wanted that thing to keep going because it's been with me through some rough patches in my life, and I'm not ready to let it go just yet. But I love it. I'm a big fan of it. Um, it's even a better entry point value with things like 3-in-1, which don't usually cost that much more than a single volume. Comics don't have that. Yeah, I have the only 3-in-1s I own are the One Piece Omnibus editions, which are 3-in-1, and for retail is $15. But if you go to in stock trades, you can get them for $10, if I remember correctly, which is the price of a regular or I think it was $11, more or less the price of a single volume, but you're getting three. Sure, the paper quality might not be the best one, but it's still good. That's my preferred reading format for One Piece. So I do think that's a great point, Hayden. Yes, it works a lot in the manga favor to have those prices. And the standard DC trade will be what, $15 for 6 issues, or Marvel will be something like that as well for 6 or 7 issues. It's up to Image when they do their $10 volume 1 releases, although I haven't checked that out in a while, so I don't know if they're still doing it. They probably are. um, I think it's just better all around on the wallet for manga. Also, keep in mind, I think I might be wrong on this. I'm gonna wait on Riley just to get a confirmation on this. I think we're the most expensive demographic when you consider the prices in Japan and other countries. When other countries get their manga, the sizes, the trim sizes, and all that stuff is very different. And we like the big deluxe editions for everything, and the larger trim sizes means slightly higher cost. Because if you've seen a Japanese tankobon, they're pretty tiny, and it's fairly cheap to collect manga over there. I think, at least. Also, um, yeah. So I do have, in regards to news, let me check that real quick. I need to enter my email because I remember seeing a solicit that I wanted to mention on this show. I think it was Seven Seas. I might be mistaken. We talked 2 weeks ago about case files of Julia Richards, so that's not it. Oh, okay, this thing. Okay, gotcha. Although it's not necessarily a manga, still I wanted to cover it here on the channel because it is from a manga publisher. Here's another 7C solicit. They haven't done the Wednesday thing in a while, but they did announce this thing, which apparently a lot of people are excited for. I know very little about it, but Seven Seas announced the license of the Husky and his white cat Shizun. I don't know how to pronounce any of that, so I'm not going to try. Chinese Danmei novels by this author. Seven Seas is thrilled to announce the acquisition of the wildly popular Danmei or Boys Love novel series from China that inspired a multimedia franchise, The Husky and His White Cat Shizun, by that same author, also known as Erha. This highly requested historical fantasy epic about a tyrant's second chance at life and the teacher he can't get out of his mind will be released in English for the first time. Massacring his way to the top to become emperor of the cultivation world, Moran's cruel reign left him with little satisfaction. Now, upon suffering his greatest loss, he takes his own life. To his surprise, he awakens in his own body at 16 years before he ever began his bloody conquest. So yeah, this Chinese fantasy epic built around the desire between two men has been translated into multiple languages, blah blah blah, and will be released in North America in October for $20 in deluxe paperback editions as well as digital. So that's the latest from them on the stuff that's coming out. All right, and yeah. So, any other questions that you guys might have, shoot them in the chat, of course. Yeah, no worries. Okay. And I did mention about hauls. Unfortunately, I think Riley was the one that hauled something neat. Well, I'm stuck with nothing because my order, I don't think it even shipped. But I can tell you now, I did finally get. I'm pulling up my list here because I can't remember everything off the top of my head live on a show. So I got. Let's see over here. We're logging in, checking out my orders. I finally got Dragon Quest Adventures of Dai. I made the decision to collect the series. I was thinking of not getting it, but then I saw some people making videos about it, and then I saw some photos, and then Riley started tagging me on stuff about Dragon Quest, and I'm like, damn it, you guys, you're really gonna make me commit to getting this. So, yeah, Riley, it's your fault.
Sorry, man.
I got Dragon Quest Adventures of Dai.
Oh, good.
Because I have very limited space and I could fit it somewhere and it's okay, but you know, but I looked at it and I'm such a fan of it and the shows. Like I gotta have it. I gotta own up to my fandom for it. So I got so I hauled that. It hasn't arrived yet. Dragon Quest. I got Fist of the North Star Volume 4, the hardcover. Maison Ikoku Volume 7. I got Beastars, Frieren Volume 3, and what was the other thing? Oh, and the Battle Angel Alita books. I am getting the smaller versions of the first series. So I got Volume 5 of that.
Are they like the signature trim size, or are they the standard?
No, they are a little bit. I'm looking at them from over here. They're the same size as regular manga from Viz, like
Okay.
because I have them next to Doctor Stone, and they're pretty much the same height.
Okay.
They're just a little bit thicker because they have more content.
Yeah, yeah. So you went over your haul.
Yeah, that's what I got for now.
Well, I got a bunch of things. I've been extremely busy with work, and so I haven't been able to read, but I'm finally getting back to being caught up. And so, like, excuse me, in the next couple weeks, I hope to like whittle down my read pile.
Oh Jesus, I forgot about your pile there.
Yeah, it was just like 8 to 10 books, and then it just kept going and going and going and going. But yeah, I also got Dragon Quest here. We got the final volume of Hell's Paradise, which I'm excited about.
I want that to come back into print so I can get it because I like what I'm seeing of that. I want to read
sure it will. This one I'm excited about is Alice in Borderland. That first 2-in-1 paperback, really nice quality there. I showed a lot of these off on my most recent haul video. I'm trying to pick the ones that I didn't. I don't think I had Beastars in that video. I didn't have Orochi, so there's Orochi Volume 1.
Nice.
Hardcover from Viz. I need to do like a spotlight video for that one.
Mm-hmm.
The 4th Fist of the North Star as well. Really
Nice.
good looking books there. The Orochi volumes are 2-in-1s, but they're about the same thickness as Fist of the North Star. Mine's a little dinged at the bottom. So yeah, that, and then a few other books that I have elsewhere.
I noticed that you got the 7 Deadly Sins Omnibus. I did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So got the first 2 of those here. I
found the first one at Walmart of all places. Oh, you got that thing. Damn it. I'm envious.
They're still open for stuff. If anyone who's interested in the Shuzo Oshimi one-shots from Denpa, they are going to be open for orders, I think, until tomorrow afternoon.
I need to check that out. I need to find somebody that will lend me the payment method because I don't have that stuff with the Apple stuff or whatever that you mentioned.
Oh yeah, I didn't either. They send you an invoice and you can pay it via like credit card.
Okay, well, I need to figure that out because I don't use credit cards. I have one, but I'd rather not use it.
Yeah.
I made a video on my channel about Shuzo Shimi short stories, and I covered those too. But after reading them and talking about them, I'm like, damn it! Even though I don't completely love them, I kind of want to own them just because I talk so much about them on my channel.
They are, I'm gonna be honest, a little pricey, like $8 for each of those.
It's super pricey for what it is. It's only 40
Yeah.
pages each.
It's just like you get that FOMO sense of like, if I don't get it now, then it's gonna sell out, and I don't know what they're gonna do with it in the future. And even if they reprint it, it's gonna be like in a standard sized volume.
Yeah.
And those are the nice big magazines. But yeah, like anyone out there who's interested in the Oshimi one shots, like go message Denpa on Twitter and see if because I believe they still have copies left. Apparently I'm not tooting my own horn here, like this is something that legit, like they said, apparently I made a TikTok about it. It was literally just me saying like, hey, these exist, and if you want them, I think they still have some. They said that they got a huge boost in like messages after I made that.
Oh wow.
They didn't even ask me to. I did have the guy from the publisher Starfruit Books. This is one of the things I got from them.
Yeah.
I did a little video about
Jesus
his
Christ. I'm sorry, those eyes. What the hell?
This is actually really like adult. There's like straight up nudity and stuff in that little zine. It's just like,
wait, let me highlight you. I want to see those eyes. That is staring right at my soul. Jesus Christ.
the Matt Hosh, the like publisher, the guy that runs Starfruit Books, his profile picture is by that artist, so it has that same kind of aesthetic. But yeah, Starfruit, I showed some stuff from Starfruit as well, and Matt reached out to me and told me that like he saw a ton of sales, even though I didn't even read them yet. Like I had literally just gotten them, opened it up, and I showed it. And I was like, damn, I never really realized how like, even if only a couple thousand people view like something I put on TikTok, if just like a percentage of that group of people actually reaches out to buy, like that's like, 20, 30 orders.
Dang.
Him. So that's huge for a small independent publisher like that. So I'm really happy like to have been able to help out with that. But the rest of my haul, I have some really neat stuff. A couple of series that I was happy to find because people had told me how hard they could be to get, and I got every single volume of both of these titles for under cover price.
That's what I like to hear.
And one of them kind of ties into what the third topic of the video today is with the yokai, but the first of which is
look at that.
To Love Ru, all 9 of the 2-in-1 volumes from the artist on this one is the same that did the art on Black Cat, Kentaro Yabuki, and he also has my favorite of the current Weekly Shonen Jump titles. What's it called? Ayakashi Triangle.
Yeah.
There's the second volume, 3 and 4. So I don't have Darkness, but yeah, this one's actually really light. They use a different type of paper for the 5 and 6 and the 7 and 8. There's all these. Yeah, I think the first 2 use a really heavy stock paper, and then after that,
that was 7 C's, right?
Yeah, I think this is the last one. It took longer to get that one than the rest of them. 9 and 10, 11 and 12. This one, like, really, there's a spirit on here. That's kind of yokai. 13 and 14, 15 and 16, and the final 17 and 18. So yeah, the first 2 volumes, actually, I think because they have like some color pages, they actually use you can't really tell, but it's a much thicker stock of paper. But they do have like a colored page in the front.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I got all of those. Like I said, I paid significantly under cover price, and all it took was patience. And within about a month, I was able to have gotten all of them. The second one, like I said, kind of relates to the third topic for the night.
Love it. Oh, you lucky son of a gun. That's
Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. There's one
Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs.
So all the way up to the current release. I don't think I should show the covers because these are a little more spicy.
I think you can just show the first one. Yeah.
I can show some of them. I'll show the ones that I can.
Yeah.
But this one actually way easier to get than To Love Ru. To Love Ru, I had to wait a minute, like for a few of the volumes to come back into stock. Yuna, though, like I was able to grab like basically every single volume. I tracked them down undercover price within a week. And it was great. This is a spicy one.
Yeah, we gotta look out for the algorithm, gang. I mean,
I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, it's a fictional drawing. I don't mind, but YouTube gets weird about that stuff. That's why we're censoring ourselves. There you go. So that series is complete, right? It did finish.
Yeah, in Japan it's finished. I think we've got about 6 volumes left for it to release in the US. The next one's a spicy one.
I do like that they're mostly white and it's so colorful, each cover. All the hairdos and outfits, or lack of outfits, I should say. There you go.
And that was 18. So I think it ended with 24.
Okay.
Just off the top of my head, I think that's correct. So we're pretty close. And they're releasing them pretty quickly. I think like every other month or so. Yeah, 24 volumes. So it shouldn't be that long before Seven Seas wraps up. Let's see. The schedule, volume 19 is due out in April, June for 20, and July for 21. So actually, like, in some cases, faster than every other month. Yeah, that's right. Because like volume 16 was in December, 17 was in January, and 18 was in February. They were like pumping them out monthly. And that was around when I first started buying the volumes, was like I started to just look at them to start buying them. And I was like, damn, there's another one. Damn, there's another one. Because I was like, 16 volumes. 17, I was, trying to create my budget according to that. So I'm like, all right, well, each volume is $13 times 16. I mean, times 17. Oh, times 18. So I'm like trying to create my budget and where I'm trying to fall in with that. But like, I didn't spend over a cover even on a single one of them. So I like significantly below budget for that entire set, which was really awesome. Especially when like, because it's not just people saying like, oh man, like that's such a hard thing to get, like it's out of print, it's whatever. Like it's not just that. It's like when you go on to eBay and look at like full lots of these series, it's like someone selling 1 through 15 of Yuna for like $200-$300, which is not significantly above cover, but it's like I can do better than that. The price that I saw for To Love Ru though was absolutely stupid. Like there was like multiple hundreds of dollars for that set. Like, yeah, no thank you.
And those two series add and complete your Shonen Jump collection, even though they're not published by Viz or whatever, but they do belong to Shonen Jump, right?
Yeah, both of these were published in the weekly Shonen Jump magazine.
Yeah,
and that was one of the reasons I wanted to track those down. And I think I'd said before that like if I couldn't get them for below cover, I wasn't even going to bother. Like I'm not that focused on it. Like if it was going to be that hard to get. And then I started realizing, like I was curious one day and I looked online. I'm like, these are not hard to get. Like I can do this. I can definitely get this without much issue. And so I just had a little bit of patience and I wound up being able to grab both of them. That's something that like I mentioned a couple of haul videos ago. Like I'm not ready to show a certain thing off yet, but I did haul something else. And it was like volumes of To Love Ru and Yuna because I hadn't finished the series yet. So the last major one that is related to the Weekly Shonen Jump stuff that I don't have is I don't have all of Bastard, but on that one I'm not really concerned because a it was a discontinued title from Viz, and it's
Yeah.
also, even if it wasn't, it's on hiatus. It's been on hiatus for 12 years in Japan.
Yeah.
And then
maybe with the show, they might be inspired to come back.
that's exactly why I'm not stressing. I'm not pressed about grabbing those volumes. I have the first two. I got them for $10 each. I'm happy with that. But I'm not pressed on buying the rest of it because I'm like, the show's coming to Netflix. Maybe we'll see it get a cool treatment like like we've seen with Fist of the North Star, something like that. We'll see. And if it doesn't happen, I'm not stressed. I need a few more volumes of Barefoot Gen, which is not hard to get. It's just they're like, I'm collecting the hardcovers, and the hardcovers are just expensive books to begin with. And then the Kimagure or Orange Road, every volume is available except for volume 1. But DMP has not, I think that's who publishes it, is DMP, has not said that they're not reprinting the first volume. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna hang out and like wait for it to come back because it worked apparently for everything else that I've been buying.
We do have a question here. It doesn't relate to the yokai stuff, but Lucas is commenting that he couldn't put Alice in Borderlands down. Favorite read of the year so far?
I'm excited to read that volume. I watched a couple of episodes of the show on Netflix, and I thought it was interesting, but I was like,
so it's like, it's a death game type of stuff, right?
Yeah, basically, like these guys get caught, like at least in the show, it was like they were doing something and then like they come back out of the place that they were in and like Japan is empty and then they get kind of roped into a death game type of thing.
Oh,
and I was like, okay, I watched like 2 episodes or 3 episodes and I was like, this is interesting, but I'm gonna save it for the
manga. Yeah. Okay, cool. Speaking of Bastard, you were saying earlier, I do want to get you remember Ragnarok, the manhwa?
Yep.
I want to get that because I remember reading some of it when it was first published by Tokyo Pop, and I never read the. I know it's on hiatus, but I never read the whole thing.
I think 10 volumes had come out.
Yeah, something like that. I do remember around the time Borders was still a thing, Ragnarok was being released. I remember that much. So rest in peace, Borders.
Oh man, remember Ragnarok Online?
Yes, I always wanted to play that, but I didn't have a PC for that stuff or online gaming and all that, so I never bothered. But I always wanted to check it out.
It had 10 volumes. It was released between 95 to 2001, and then it went on hiatus. Man, that I just looked at the cover to the first one. It brings back such like nostalgia.
Early odds memories. I love it.
Yeah, that, like very heavy nostalgia. I had a friend in high school that was super into the series, and I never read it, and like he was super into it, and I think he played Ragnarok Online as well.
Nice.
But yeah, when I found out that it was on hiatus and like hadn't done anything new, I was like, eh.
I did read, speaking of Ragnarok, and I'm bouncing off topic, sorry. I did read, I started reading Record of Ragnarok recently. And because I had started online, I got to admit to that. And I stopped because they announced the license and all that stuff. So I waited for the physical volume. And I just couldn't put the book down. And I'm eagerly awaiting volume 2. That's one of my favorite reads so far this year. I love it so much.
I thought it was pretty fun. It didn't blow me away, but it was fun enough for me to be like, I'm gonna get the next volume. I want to see where this goes. It's a simple idea, and it's entertaining. And that's all I need.
Yeah, it's simple, but I found it so bombastic and dumb that I loved it so much. And all the reactions and all that stuff. And when you see the list of all the fighters that they picked for the humans, like how's that going to work out? I'm not going to spoil it because that's part of the fun of the book to figure out which human they select. but like some of the choices there, I'm like, really? Okay, we're doing that.
So I'm not even gonna try to make a segue. You really like yokai stuff.
Okay, let me try and do a segue out of that. So speaking of not knowing what we're gonna pick, how about those yokai? That was terrible, but I'm proud of it. Yeah, so yokai is a subject that's embedded into everything Japanese pop culture, whether it be a yokai that's a branding for like the tofu kid, whose whole shtick is carrying tofu, and they use that as an advertisement for a certain product to be sold in stores back in the day. There are yokai for everything, and you see that in manga all over. Whether it's a book like Inuyasha, or something like Gegege no Kitaro, or even Yuna and the Hot Springs. Even though it's not super heavy into yokai, it still with the supernatural features a lot of yude. The main girl is a yude or a ghost,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it's everywhere. And I thought we could highlight some of that stuff or our favorite books containing that side of manga fandom. I did find a list of like a top 10, but it's a top 10, whatever,
Yeah,
of manga featuring yokai and see if we've read it. Um,
I've read like pieces of some of these series that have them, but like not the entirety of them.
First of all, the list sucks already because they placed at number 10 Gegege no Kitaro when I think that should be number one.
That's like the quintessential one.
I know because Mizuki revolutionized that stuff and he was the cartoonist. He took all those legends, and I have some of his books here. He took some of those legends and just gave them a brand new twist for kids, for people of all ages to enjoy. I have the Kitaro book that's Drawn and Quarterly, forgot the name there. Drawn and Quarterly released. Unfortunately, this one is out of print and not super hard to find. It was for me because I can only buy manga online. I don't have any stores near me that sell them unless I go to Walmart for like Viz Media stuff or Kodansha. But like stuff like this, I can't find anywhere over here. So I had to track this down online, and then people didn't want to sell it through my address and all that stuff or whatever. It was a mixed bag of emotions. But here is Kitaro. Let me highlight some of it here. The cool thing about it, if you know about Shigeru Mizuki and his art style, it's so wonderful and detailed, but cartoony at the same time because he's a cartoonist and he's able to, mix in wonderful backgrounds with just the most goofiest of characters, especially the humans. And I love that so much about him. And, early 1900s, he rescued long lost folklore basically because at that time in history, Japan was getting ready to sort of abandon its traditions and yokai and folklore and all that stuff in favor of modernizing the nation. And they wrote, guidebooks basically like Tono Monogatari, which rescued all those stories and presented them in a new light and sort of said like, no, I mean, you had professors and scholars trying to get rid of that stuff, but these guys wanted to bring that back and embrace that and keep it, with the culture, with the footprint of a nation. And it's the book that best represents that stuff, that best represents yokai in manga form, in sequential art, has to be Gegege no Kitaro. You follow Kitaro, the ghost boy. I love this one, Monster Night Game. They're playing a baseball game with humans and yokai. That's pretty awesome. And he's the last of the ghost boy, of the ghost tribe, and his father perished, but he survived as a single eyeball, daddy eyeball, as they call him. And he helps his son with yokai knowledge and Kitaro is basically a bridge between humans and the yokai, and whether they're up to no good. Because typically yokai, they are not necessarily evil, although there are evil spirits and they like to cause harm. The majority of them are more trivial and neutral in nature, where they're just like tricksters, and they serve more like a guide for us to, like fables, to understand certain moral or story elements and apply them to our lives. Like, don't do this, don't do that, because this will happen. So they're sort of a guide to that, and you get a lot of that in the Kitaro stories. It's not like super long form or anything. There are recurring themes and characters that show up. Eventually, you get the Great Yokai War, where there's a team up basically of you see Western yokai. They call them yokai as well, like Frankenstein's monster, for example, or werewolves, and they actually fight against the Japanese yokai and all that stuff. So that's a lot of fun. But don't expect like super long stories with character arcs and all that. Most of it is sort of like the case of the week stuff, with different monsters and all that, and just really awesome art. I mean, you get this stuff, which is super cartoony, right there. Oh, look, there's Frankenstein and Dracula right there. I love that, by the way, to have both. That's awesome. And then you get stuff like this, which is just phenomenal.
God.
The
Yeah.
detail on that really reminds me of Bernie Wrightson and guys like that. He was just awesome at that. And if you don't want to read Kitaro stories, which I don't know what's wrong with you, you should. There are also books like Nononba, which is even cooler to me because it's based off real stories from Mizuki's grandmother that he remembered and kept them alive through comic art, and decided to chronicle them in magazines and all that stuff, and keep those stories alive from his childhood that would otherwise be lost to time, because he was 90. He lived up to 97 years of age, if I remember correctly. So back then, he saw the birth of everything, modern manga and anime and all that stuff. So when he was a kid, there was no way to preserve these stories and all that stuff. So that was really awesome. You see some of the art over there. And the book I mentioned earlier, I think this and oops, upside down, sorry. This and Nononba, I think, is out of stock, but it shouldn't be hard to find. I think I got it from Books A Million. Shigeru Mizuki's Tonomonogatari released last year, so this still should be in stock everywhere. And this is the chronicles that I told earlier, when they were rescuing all that stuff and introducing it to a new generation through novels and handwritten accounts and all that stuff. But Mizuki took all of that and made like mini stories out of those tales in comic format, sort of like a Saturday or Sunday morning comic strip in that style. So yeah, same type of art, but really cool stories that I highly, highly recommend. And this does fall under the Gekiga genre, so it has some of that tropish writing on it, and with the art and all that. So yeah, I highly recommend it. I think it'll be worth your time to check that out. If you're maybe not wanting to read Naruto and Luffy and Ichigo, maybe try and read some of that, because Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, all these wonderful Shonen Jump stuff, Dragon Ball, they all pull from old yokai stories.
So what else is on that list? I'm curious if that was at the bottom, like what possibly could be.
They put number 9, Takeo-chan Bukairoku by Minoru Toyota, which I have not read. A Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School from Mai Tanaka, which I do have the first 3 volumes over here, but I haven't read them yet, so I do apologize on that. This is sort of like a comedy series on this teacher that moves into this school where all the students are yokai and monsters and all that. So I do have volume 1 with me. 1. It's still ongoing, if I remember correctly. So there's like 10 books so far. Here's volume 2, and I got volume 3. So I need to read these before I decide to commit to getting everything else, but I haven't done so yet. Let me show you some of the art. Every panel that I'm putting up has no monsters. What the hell? Just humans. Here's some of that art over there. Oh, there's an Oni demon right there as well. So it says here, rookie teacher Haruaki Abe is a cowardly as they come. Cowardly as they come. Sorry, it's hard enough for him to handle human students without whimpering, and now he's going to be teaching at a school full of monsters. It's a classroom of horrors for Haruaki as his mischievous students use every means at their disposal to prank him. Will this poor teacher be able to get his group of ghouls under control, or is the class destined for failure? So this is pretty cool. I like it. I like the concept, and I've heard good things about it online, so I'm going to check it out. The other one on the list is The Elegant Yokai Apartment Life by Waka Miyama and Hinoawa Hozuki. I believe this has not been, or it has been licensed, but digital only, if I remember correctly. This one's about Inaba Yushi. He finds a place to live at a decent price for a struggling student. Unfortunately for Yushi, he moves into a monster house consisting of various ghosts, monsters, and, of course, an eccentric young female exorcist. The other one on the list is Mononoke by Yaeko Ninagawa, which you guys might know from the anime. A very distinct art style when it comes to anime and manga. Mononoke, of course, are also bad spirits when it comes to yokai. What's the new Shonen Jump series? I even reviewed it on my channel. Dororong.
Yeah,
that one deals with Mononoke. So if you like that, you probably want to check this one out as well. This one's about a medicine seller traveling across Edo, Japan, hunting demons down that are bothering people. That's one of my most desired manga to be licensed that we don't have yet. The other one on the list I have no idea about is Ayakashi Ko by Hijiki. This is a comedic, fluffy slice of life about okay, the list does not say what it's about, but it looks kind of comedic based. The other one, you do have it, I think. Nuda, Rise of the Yokai Clan, right?
I can go pick that one.
That out. This one is also another manga that I do want to get at some point. I am interested in owning it. There you go. How many volumes? Is it like 25, I think?
25 volumes. It's been a minute since I've read. I actually watched a few episodes of the anime since I've read it, but basically, like, it's a dude who's part of a clan that is supposed to like keep yokai at watch or something like that. His grandfather is the supreme commander of the clan.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be the next leader, and so it's like, him apprehensively becoming new leader,
like his ascension to that role and all that.
Yeah. So
so they're like a clan, like a herder or something, they control the other yokai.
While the day belongs to humans, the night belongs to yokai, supernatural creatures that thrive on human fear. Caught between these worlds is Rikuo Nura. He's 3/4 human, but his grandfather is none other than Nura Rihyon, the supreme commander of the Nura clan, a powerful yokai consortium. So Rikuo is an ordinary teenager 3/4 of the time until his yokai blood awakens. Then Rikuo transforms into the future leader of the Nura clan, which is that, leading 100 demons. Becoming the Lord of Pandemonium, Rikuo grew up in a house full of yokai, so he always thought they were cool, but the kids in his class talk about yokai like they're bad. When his grandfather announces Rikuo as his chosen heir to run the Nura clan, Rikuo is torn between his human nature and his duties as a yokai. The rest of the clan's not so crazy about a wimpy part human as their ruler, particularly Kagoze, a high-ranking yokai who would rather eat a human than be ruled by one.
There you go. I need to get that. I need it in my life. So eventually I'll try and track it down.
It was super easy to get for like a while, and then all of a sudden it got hard to find.
Of course. That's the new norm now for manga collecting. The other one on the list is a bit of an odd choice. They listed Gantz from Hiroya Oku. I agree, but most of the monsters aren't really yokai. They're just monsters.
I feel like there is at least one arc where they use monsters supposed to be.
Yeah, oh my gosh, the Okinawa story where they travel to Okinawa and the actual monsters there, the aliens that they have to kill, are yokai, Japanese yokai. But the rest of the story, just like the giant Buddha statues and the onion evil Freddy Krueger monster, that's not. Sorry, that doesn't fit the bill. So I wouldn't place it as high.
Yeah.
The other one here is the Morose Monon. Oh my god, the Morose Mononokean by Kiri Wazawa. I've never heard of this before in my life, and that was very difficult to pronounce. This is about saving the cute, fluffy demon Moja or Moha. Student Hanai doesn't realize his gesture bonded him with the adorable fluff ball until he finds himself drained of energy and in the nurse's office. In his quest to separate himself from the creature, Hanai comes across a flyer that offers exorcism, which introduces him to the world of the supernatural. Yeah, I don't think that's licensed at all, so I've never heard of this before. And their number one pick is something that you guys might be aware of if you like cuter things and slice of life manga. Natsume's Book of Friends by Yuki Midorikawa. And it's about a 15-year-old Takashi Natsume who has a unique gift and he's able to see yokai. Unfortunately for him, Takashi also received a book as a gift that contained contracts to various creatures, and all of them want to be released from their bond, with some being malicious and others being sincere. Takashi must work with his feline familiar Madara to calm the demons in the Book of Friends. That one has a pretty big anime and a lot of volumes that people are excited for. And I kind of do want to own it at some point.
The another one that wasn't mentioned, isn't Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, isn't that a yokai?
Yes, that should be on there. Hanako-kun, the original character fits more of a modern yokai. The legend sort of popped up since World War II, with the idea was like air-raided schools were destroyed, obviously, because of the war in the Pacific, and the story stemmed from there. Like maybe the female child died while that was happening, so the spirit was bound to that school, and it happened to be a bathroom. But the manga switches it up, and it's a guy. So that should be on the list. I think that's a great one. It deals more with the supernatural, almost like urban legends, for the most part. But yeah, it still fits the theme. Next, Imaginon, thank you for joining. Where would you judge Mushishi and Dororo as ranking within this yokai canon? Mushishi, it doesn't use the yokai branding, but it's still based on that. The fact that the main character, he's a traveling doctor looking for all the mushi, right? Yeah. It's super yokai inspired, just with a different name. So I would put it on there on the list of stuff that you got to check out if the damn thing was available to purchase, because it's not, and people are asking obscene amount of price cash
dude.
online for them. It's
For
so stupid.
the set, which is like 1 through 7, and then a 3-in-1 for the last volume.
Yeah.
I saw someone asking $1,000 plus
It's-
like $50 shipping.
Of course, $50 shipping.
Yeah, I don't
Warren,
know what like it's $1,000, but like it doesn't take $50 to ship that. I don't know if they were like they're like, oh well, I'm gonna ship it through like Priority Express with like the most insurance possible or something like that, and they're like, so it's gonna cost like almost $50. But no, I'm freaking $1,000 for that. No way, dude. No way.
man, that's one of my. I've talked about it. I don't know if I talked about it on the show, but that's one of my uh, most desired reprints to happen. I need that series. I love the show, and I've always wanted to read the series, so I do want it. Dororo, yeah. I mean, it does have a lot of supernatural elements, even though it's more of it's a samurai tale with the main characters. I'm trying to remember the name of the character aside from Dororo. Hyakimaru, is that the name of the character?
I believe so. I
Hyakimaru,
haven't read it.
Hyakimaru and Dororo. There we go. So it's more of their story and what they go through to fix Hyakimaru's condition, if you will. If you've never read it, he's missing a whole bunch of limbs. But it does feature supernatural elements and monsters and all that stuff. But yeah, a lot of the culture of a lot of pop culture when it comes to Japan is ruled by yokai, whether it's something silly like a tanuki in a Mario game, or probably the largest export of yokai, which is Pokemon. It's all in there. The DNA is there. It's sort of that hidden DNA in all of Japanese pop culture. Video games, manga, anime, they all feature legends and creatures from the yokai world. And I'm trying to think, like maybe some other manga that I'm missing that I feature yokai. I know Rumiko Takahashi, her stuff, like Inuyasha, is heavily based on that. Obviously, it's feudal Japan with monsters fighting and fighting the main characters and all that. But also, like friggin' Mermaid Saga, that's heavily into yokai lore. Probably at some point, Berserk is, of course, inspired by it, even though the monsters are more like dark fantasy European esque. But they're based on that as well. But to go back to this question, Dororo, not so much, not super high on my personal ranking, but Mushishi, definitely, yes. Let me show something here. Let me show some of the art for Mushishi because I just love it so much and I can't get it, and that kind of pisses me off. That's one of those books that it gets to me that I can't own it. But all this stuff, this is one of my favorite drawings. I love that. Most of the stuff in Mushishi is based on Japanese folklore and old stories, so I do like that a lot. Here's no, these are these the English sets? Yes.
Yeah. And that last one's the 3-in-1 there.
Yeah. It's a damn shame that we don't have it. And the license is by Kodansha, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, because I think it was originally under Del Rey, and then the last 3-in-1 Kodansha published just to finish it up.
So they do have the digital license.
Yeah.
But I'm not a digital reader, so I want it physically. Hopefully one day it'll happen. I'm sure it will. It's just a matter of time. I don't think it's a priority right now for them.
Kodansha is sitting on a lot of digital licenses for big series like that. Beck, Initial D,
Oh, Initial D. If they
Uh,
release that, that'd be so cool. And like larger format hardcover.
They have
Great.
Rave Master, like a lot of those Tokyo Pop titles that like
Oh, and man, I didn't see that comment. Sorry. I didn't think Riley was allowed to have Tool of Rue. What about Darkness? I'm watching on a bit of a delay. We surprised you, my man. No, plot twist. Riley got them all. Does Ganasha have
I'm
the
not
rights?
really I'm not really I don't know when I if I read To Love Ru and I like if I enjoy it enough I might go for Darkness, but Darkness just goes, it's like it's not just fan service, it goes beyond.
It's straight up sexual content.
Yeah, it's straight up like pretty much H.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, the Kodansha I believe do still have the license to Mushishi.
Yeah. I mean, let me check real quick. I know we're running low on time here, but if I go to Kodansha or
Yeah, it's
what's their
on
name now?
it's
still
just
Kodansha.
digital, it says Kodansha USA.
Yeah, there we go. If I search here for Mushishi, where are you? Yeah, it all shows up here. All 10 volumes digitally. They still have them.
It doesn't mean that they would be the one to print it necessarily, but they do. And the thing is, like Del Rey was basically just Kodansha.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, hold on, let me look. I think Del Rey was like, yeah, it's a cross-publishing relationship with Japanese publisher Kodansha by essentially Random House, like Penguin Random House. So before Kodansha Japan made Kodansha USA a thing, they made Del Rey books.
Look at that. Look at those prices. People are nuts.
Stupid.
Do you know how much I can do with $1,000 right now? To spend it on a series? Come on now.
I mean, you could at least get 100 plus volumes of other series.
Yes.
Like if anything.
Look at that. One volume, $150.
Well, there's one volume right there for $489.95.
Oh, that's a steal. Let's go. I'm curious about the sold listings.
This reminds me of looking at the sold listings of Ultimate Muscle.
Why 16 bids? Somebody bought this volume for $97. 180. I'm looking to see if somebody bought a whole lot. Probably just single volumes. 5,000? Are you? No, that's got to be
Best
wrong.
offer accepted. Like what was the best offer?
Oh my gosh. 100, 300.
300.
Oh, look at this lucky son of a bitch. Sorry for the language.
Sorry,
47 bucks.
what? All this stuff that was on January 28th. And that dude got what?
That hurts. That could have been us.
That just goes to show you, like, you gotta troll eBay sometimes and just wait.
Yeah. Oh, somebody spent 17. Wow. Yikes.
We go real quick. Look at the freaking Ultimate Muscle sold prices.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
That's my pride and joy that I actually got that before it went up.
Ultimate Muscle Manga English. Okay, let's share that. Ice says you could get all of One Piece manga with that.
Yeah, absolutely. You could, if you bought stuff at like the lower prices and whatnot, you could get all of One Piece and like a whole other series as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Ultimate Muscle, Volume 27 for $82. Volume 7 through 12, 14 through 16. Somebody bought it for $450, but with best offer.
Volume 35
for $250. 26 for $35. That's not too bad. Still expensive, but compared to this $88. Jesus
Best
Christ!
offer on $1,800 for the whole.
Wow! Damn!
1,100 for someone actually spent $1,100 for 24 out of the 29 volumes, but they did have free shipping.
That's a good seller.
They didn't even try to do an offer on that one.
They just looked at it, $1,100. Yeah, let's go for it.
Someone got their tax refund. That was like last week.
Yeah, volume 4, $35. Volume 1 for $80. Wow. Volume 25,
$250 fucking dollars. Holy shit balls.
What? You could be sitting on a gold mine here if you ever decide to sell them again. What are the chances that this gets reprinted at some point?
I'm gonna say low as hell.
I don't think there's any sort of demand for Ultimate Muscle whatsoever.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, I demand it.
Yeah, I mean, we're awesome, eccentric readers that we like to find things in life. But
someone got volume 3 for $20 and it benefits a charity.
Oh, there you go. Volume 26 for $30. This lot, man. I mean, look at this. 4 books for $160, and then this 18.
I think volume 14 is the pricey one there.
Oh my god! And then this guy, $725 for 18 volumes. So, wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's the most expensive that I have.
Yeah. One final comment here before we wrap up. And man, Gio, I mentioned on Monday, but I guess you didn't see it. I did see it, and I totally forgot because you got to remember there's a lot of people on Mondays, and we're 3 hosts talking nonstop about everything and just goofing off. So I'm sorry about that, buddy. I did see it, and I was hoping you were on today so I can mention it. Thank you for posting that. He mentioned last Monday, Lone Wolf and Cub Omnis Volume 1 through 9 are being reprinted. Pretty good, he thinks. Hopefully, Dark Horse reprints Volumes 10 to 12 as well. Now, I remember you asking if I was going to get them. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. If it comes back into print, I don't know if I'll pull the trigger on that because it's not something I'm super like wanting to have.
Gio has to consider room as well.
Yes, because right now I'm actively collecting. I'm getting Berserk, but we only have like 3 more deluxe editions to go. Blade of the Immortal, that's halfway done. Beastars, that's almost out, right? That's like 5 more books or something for it to wrap up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Battle Angel, I got the first series. I might as well continue getting the other stuff. Fist of the North Star. Gantz has like 5 more books as well. I think that's going to be like 13 omnibus editions or 14. I don't know. Maybe I can fit it in somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. Let's hope it does get reprinted and people don't go crazy and it doesn't sell out immediately.
Have you ever read it before?
I've only seen live action stuff. I've never read that stuff before. I know the premise.
It was not for me.
That's another thing. It's not necessarily my best, my favorite thing when it comes to, what do you call that? It's not Chambada. It's that type of story. Feudal Japan, samurai, whatever. I know Chambada means swordplay, but you know.
I just, since if it's getting reprinted, like I'm imagining they're doing all of them like kind of at the same time. And that's like 1 through 9 of, I think each of them are $20 cover price omnis. Like that's not a good blind buy.
I have to be in a mood. I have to be like, I'm in the mood for feudal Japan stories. Let's go.
Yeah.
and escort missions, because that's
Yeah.
essentially what it is. It's a
And
huge
it's
escort
also
mission.
it's a lot easier, I find, like if it was to get released in the deluxe hardcovers, for instance, like you can start getting it one volume at a time and reading it at a slower pace.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's the type of series that benefits from like binging, so to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like if you buy all of it, then you're sitting there and you're like, I need to read this. And for me, at least, like whenever I have like a whole series, I'm like, I need to read this as fast as possible, and I just read through the whole thing. And like a lot of times, that's really good. Like that winds up benefiting the experience. But for something like that, it's a slow burn type series that needs to be savored rather than like engorged on. Like if they were to do it in the hardcovers and just release them one at a time, like that would be a great way for people to savor the story. But I mean, I bought it when the first few of those Omnis came out, and I did savor it, and it wasn't for me.
Yeah. Everybody wants everything in that version nowadays. Let's keep going. Yeah. A lot of people want deluxe editions for everything, but I don't think everything needs a deluxe edition. I don't know. Cleveland Brown, instead of reprinting, maybe have them in deluxe editions like Berserk. Please, Dark Horse. Too late, FOMOing at the mouth to get those reprints. Maybe I'll get volume 1, but then again, and I don't want to say it because then people are gonna go in and buy it, and I'm not gonna get it. But there's another series that finally started being restocked that I want to get. It's an older series, very famous one. So I'm not going to say anything because I might be getting some of that stuff pretty soon. I'll talk about it later.
After you've already secured the bag.
Yes. So I'll just leave you with that tidbit of information.
Is it a bag that I've secured?
Yeah, you already have it. A lot of old school manga tubers, they have it. It's just I'm late to the game on it.
I have to stretch because like when I sit, my abdomen like gets sore for whatever reason, and so like I have to stretch out and like lay down so that my stomach can stretch out.
Yeah. And man read all of Lone Wolf all at once back in mid 2020. It was fine to me. Great stuff. Hey, I'm open to reading it. If it does come back in stock, I'll pick volume 1 up and check it out.
And then volumes 2 through 9 will be out of stock, and then
we're back to square one again. And then they announced the deluxe edition, so then I have to get rid of my volume 1 and buy the big edition.
So then by that time, no one wants the paperbacks anymore.
The paperbacks, yeah.
Have to give it away to someone.
Jesus.
I don't know. I think my taste is way too refined for Lone Wolf and Cub. I'm just too refined to like, shoujo or not shoujo, shonen, sports manga and battle manga, man. Like,
yep,
such a refined palette that I have.
So any last books that you might want to talk about for yokai themed?
I don't think I have anything else. Personally, I might have something somewhere, but like, I don't know. I don't have Yokai Watch.
Yokai Watch is cool. It's not as good as Pokemon, obviously, but it's cool. There is a manga that I want to recommend. It's pretty silly, but it's kind of cool. It's it's not licensed, so you might have to venture elsewhere to read it. Shoot, where did I put it? It's called Kanojo wa Rokurokubi. Rokurokubi is a famous yokai. You might know her. She is the yokai that the lady that can stretch her neck super long.
Yeah.
So there is a manga series about her, and it's a rom-com in high school. Natsuki and her childhood friend Itsuki visit the same school, and there seems to be more between them besides friendship. As a Rokurokubi, her quirk of stretching her neck is normal for her and her surroundings, but it's not always her choice to stretch it. And although she has feelings for Itsuki, she can't tell him what she feels. So it's a rom-com, but with the added twist that everybody acknowledges that she is a Rokurokubi, she's a yokai. So that's part of the comedy aspect. Unwillingly, she gets nervous or something, and neck stretches, so it leads into some embarrassing moments and stuff like that. So I've read some of it, and it's cute, it's funny, and it's different. If you want to check something out that's not, your big three and your Luffy gang and all that stuff.
My refined tastes.
Yeah. So yeah. In conclusion, check out your manga collection, and you will find a lot of yokai in other stories, whether it be supernatural stuff, like I don't know, Tokyo Ghoul or whatever. They probably feature some elements inspired by yokai literature. The Shonen Jump stuff, obviously. Doronong has a lot of yokai inspired things. Ayashimon as well, that's currently being published in Shonen Jump. That's heavy on yokai folklore. And oh yes, just Mason, thank you for joining. Rine, or however you pronounce it, from Takahashi, right?
I was gonna mention Mao as well. I think
Mao,
has-
it's about demon hunting, so that fits. Yeah. For me, it depends on the size. Dark Horse books are usually very tiny, and I assume thick, since they are omnis. Dark Horse is finally printing Psychopaths, Inspector Kogami Volume 5. Hopefully, they reprint the rest and keep going to the actual series.
I'm looking for any yokai to pop up in my collection. I'm searching.
They probably like to stay hidden, though, so you're going to have a tough time. Let's see. I talked about Natsume, Spirited Away, but that's a movie. I'm looking at random books here online. Noragami, but that is more about deities, if I remember correctly. Shishi, we talked about that. Oh, Jesus Christ, I forgot about that. Hosoki's Cool-Headedness. I do recommend that. That is, I think, Kodansha as well, digitally. I only own the anime, which I really love. And you're essentially following one of the lieutenants or high workers from Hell. And it's sort of slice of life / comedy as Hell gets new souls, and you get to see how they work and the many different levels of Hell, like hundreds of levels, one for each type of sinner. And you get a lot of culture elements and yokai, supernatural beings, and all that stuff. I do recommend that. I wish I had the manga, but it's not out physically. You can get the anime through Sentai, and the manga digitally through Kodansha.
Of course.
You follow Hozuki, is the ruthless, efficient assistant to Enma, the king of hell. It's run like a bureaucracy, and there's a lot of yokai stuff there, and it's super funny. If you like Japanese folklore and culture, you're gonna love that show. I highly recommend it. Oh, and I keep forgetting about these books. We forgot one of the most important Shonen Jump titles that features yokai elements. Yu Yu Hakusho. He's literally a spirit detective. And they feature yokai beasts and demons and monsters. There you go.
At the very bottom.
Yep. I don't own Yu Yu Hakusho physically, but I do have the anime on DVD. I don't even have the Blu-ray. I'm so cheap. I haven't upgraded to the Blu-ray. Let's see what else I'm missing before we wrap up. XXX Holic, but I don't own that. Kitaro, we talked about that. Beyond the Boundary, I don't like that, so I'm not going to talk about it. A Letter to Momo, that's a movie. Yokai Watch, that's a game. Sarasanmai, that's an anime, but it does have a manga, and that's about Kappa monsters. Yeah. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. What the hell? Oh, no, they were talking about other stuff. There we go. So, yeah. Oh, we talked about that. Gantz, yeah, but they're mostly monsters. They're not typical yokai stuff. Although it does have a story arc dealing with yokai, which disturbed me because I'm a huge fan of how they're portrayed in the works of Shigeru Mizuki, and then Gantz just stepped on all of that and just gave us some very raunchy, not safe for work stuff when it came to yokai. I'm like, okay. Yeah. By the way, that shot that you have here, Riley, it looks like you're at a library looking through what books you're going to buy. I love that. I'm going to go through that aisle, going to get that book. Maybe I should get that other one. We'll see. That's awesome. I love it.
You can see me going through.
Yeah. Next time you got to bring a lav mic and hook it up so you can talk through the aisles of your library. All right, so I think we can wrap it up here, right?
Yeah, we've been going for a good amount of time.
For a while. Okay, let's give a shout out to the sponsor of the show, making it happen for us. That's, of course, InStockTrades.com, your official source for all things collected editions, whether it be an omnibus, trade paperback, hardcover, epic collections, absolutes, box sets, all the manga that you can want. You can find it at InStockTrades.com. Daily deals and discounts range from 42 to even 50 to 65% off. Loyalty discounts tack an extra 2% to that if you order week by week. And of course, $50 or more gets you free shipping on your order. Fantastic customer service and wonderful packaging. That's InStockTrades.com, the official sponsor of Omnibros Live here on YouTube. Quick reminder, we're going to be back Monday talking hauls, reads, and all that stuff. Jess, Lou, and I. And then we'll be back Monday with some Pop Culture Wednesdays. And then Thursday with another manga-centric topic. And I have to tune in for that. So thank you, everybody. You can find me on my channel. That's A Week in Geekdom. Check it out. I mostly talk about anime and manga there. And I leave the comic book talk for this good old channel. And, of course, the Omnibus Collector. Where can people find you?
The Omnibus Collector on the YouTube and the TikTok. And I'm going to be trying to edit a video tonight to hopefully put up tomorrow on my channel. So it's going to be that big old video about the highest selling manga that were discontinued in English. So
yeah. Man, it'll come back.
It already did come back.
It came back.
It came back like a couple months ago. Like if you missed it, like
I remember a lot of manga tubers like, I finally got Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm like
literally every volume came back a couple months ago, and now I think they're slowly again coming back because they immediately sold out. But it came back. It kind of like all these things are coming back.
Speaking of,
21 got brought back. Claymore got brought back. Like
Claymore
everything reprinted.
Speaking of coming back, we'll come back next Monday, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. God bless. Stay safe out there. Love every single one of you. Thank you to the chat, as always. Catch you on the next stream. Bye. And read more yokai books like Kitaro.